Grady Kurpasi Sr. is Grady's father, and he is joining us on the phone tonight from Florida. Sir, I appreciate your time under these circumstances. My heart and thoughts all go out to you. What is on your heart tonight about your son?
His whereabouts and his safety. I have had recent news from a good source that my son, they located his cell phone and they were able to trace where it was. And the cell phone is held in Fabrika Mall in Kherson in the Ukraine. Now that mall is being used as a prisoner, as a prison to hold Ukrainian and any other fighters against the Russians at the present time.
So you believe your son has been captured?
At this point, yes. Also, messages were hacked into and encrypted, and his name came up and from messages from that particular area.
When was the last time you spoke with Grady?
Oh, geez. That is going to be on March 7th.
And what did he say at that time?
At that time, he said that he was going on vacation.
What does that mean?
Hey, he was going on vacation.
Was he not there to fight and defend Ukraine?
Oh, of course he was, but he did not say that to me, I guess not to upset me. I knew there was something wrong because he'd never go on vacation to leave his family. He told me that he would be away for 2 to 3 months, and I confronted my daughter-in-law the following day, and she said she had seen him off on the plane, and that's when she told me, yes, he's going to the Ukraine, and I had just sensed that he was doing something, but I didn't know about the Ukraine until that time.
Were you okay with him going? Obviously not.
I was greatly concerned for him, but at the same time, my son has been deployed to Iraq 3 times, each time receiving a Purple Heart and all sorts of medals and accolades, and he went to Afghanistan once. Now, the first time he went to Iraq, he was just sent there right out of his basic training. Well, actually, after he went to some schooling. The other 2 times, or 3 times that he served, he volunteered. My son has always tried to help people and tried to set things straight in areas that are having conflicts and problems. That's the type of person he is. Wow. He's well-liked by the members of his Marine groups that he served under him and with him, and they describe him as a warrior.
Well, the U.S. government says it is monitoring the situation. Russia has made it clear, as you know, Grady, how they feel about those they consider mercenaries. You say your son is not a mercenary. What are you most hopeful for?
A mercenary to me is somebody who's paid to go and to fight. All right. My son is a volunteer. Originally, he went there not to fight. He went there to train troops. But he wound up being sent out on this one particular mission to gain intelligence about the Russian strength in the particular area of the Ukraine. And this is where all the problems started.
Right. And you know that the Russians may see things much differently. What did he tell you about the risks over in Ukraine that he knew he'd face?
He didn't tell me anything at that point. I didn't speak to him after the 7th when he told me he was leaving the following morning for his vacation. So I have not had the opportunity to speak to him.
What now? Are you in touch with the U.S. Embassy?
I am not. My daughter-in-law is. She has contacted the State Department, the Department of Defense, the U.S. Embassy, the Ukrainian Embassy, keep on listing things, everything down to the Salvation Army. A state senator and a congressman as well.
Grady, I can hear the heavy weight on you in your voice tonight. I'm so sorry that you and these two other families are going through this. If you could say anything to your son right now, even if it's just throwing it out there into the universe and hoping that he hears it and feels your presence and strength, what would you say?
I love you. I believe in you. And I want you home as soon as possible.
Grady Kurpasi Sr., the father of Grady Kurpasi Jr., an American, a brave American who is believed to be missing and captured in Ukraine tonight. Sir, God bless you, and please stay in touch.
I certainly will. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you for sharing your son with us tonight. And we will continue to follow not only the disappearance of Grady in Ukraine, who went over there to fight alongside the Ukrainians, but also Alexander and Andy, who both are believed to be captured by the Russians.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.